He blows his whistle, and away we go. In the Sporting blue tops with gray shorts, Sporting will go from right to left here on the field at Children's Mercy Park. Kellen Rowe was upended near midfield. There you saw a touch for Abdul Guatubiaye. I will let you know that he has informed us he prefers to go just by the name of Abdul. Agudelo for the Revs. Inside for Buchanan, but Felipe Gutierrez, who's playing in that number 6 role in the place of Elie. On Jones. Away by Busio, but Johnny Russell gives it back to Castillo. Zusi collaborate to win it back for Sporting Kansas City. Buchanan with a turn of pace, getting to the byline, working around Quase. Fontas comes over to intervene for Sporting KC.
They were warming up before the game, and I asked him what the tactics were when he goes up against Sporting Kansas City. He pointed out they did a good job of it last season in their 1-0 victory in New England. And what they want to do is press high.
Horrible genocide in that country that took place. His family were victims of that. They had to flee the country as refugees living in the Congo until the war had subsided. Never knew his father. Mother passed away when he was 4 years old. Hill didn't even go to ground, and he earns the foul.
For me, that was very much shoulder to shoulder. Both of them applying pressure to each other. Toledo's been a little whistle happy early on in this game. It's over earlier in the game, Nate. I really do think it's that.
Maybe taking things a little personal here. Here comes Castillo, driving his shot. It's over the bar. Rowe's been buzzing around in the early going, that's for sure.
Yeah, look, when you play against your old team, you'll always find that extra % or two. You always want to do that little bit better. Yes, Kellen Rowe before the game was hugging and chatting to his former teammates, but you know full well when he crosses that white line, he's going to want to score goals. He's going to want to have a positive effect on the game.
Arizona and about kind of the sour taste in his mouth leaving New England there towards the end of his career. We'll get back to that.
Comes across in for Agudelo, and he got the shot attempt all wrong. It goes spinning harmlessly wide.
Golden opportunity after great wing play from Dewan Jones, who absolutely skinned Graham Zusi there. Got to the byline, pulled it back perfectly to Agudelo. He has to hit the target.
All right, Carter, go ahead and finish that point you were making about Kellen Rowe.
Wasn't too happy with just how his career went down towards those last 2 seasons. He had an injury and just never really regained form in New England. He said when Mike Burns, the GM, called him to tell him about the trade, he actually cried on the phone.
There's a cross in, and it's into the back of the net. It's Juan Fernando Caicedo, and the New England Revolution have struck first here at Children's Mercy Park.
SKC. Good play from Agudelo, gets to the byline, pulls it back to the feet of Caicedo. He swivels quickly and fires it past Tim Melia.
Now we'll see it in a game. He got it to Johnny Russell, who's now going to drive it in, looking for Namath, who flicked it toward the target, but over the bar.
It's a good delivery from Johnny Russell.
Here is Gutierrez edging his way forward this time, muscled off the ball. And now, down the left-hand side, it's Dewan Jones, racing toward the penalty area. A sliding challenge by Abdul.
Felipe Gutierrez, but not a great deal of malice in it.
By making his way down the right-hand side. Jerso using some pace to track back. Calls to Johnny Russell.
I'm with you, Nate. You don't want to make excuses, but it is a fact. There is an ever-burgeoning list of injuries. Some really pivotal parts of the SKC side, especially Matt Beasler and Espinoza. Certainly at the moment, you're missing Espinoza's bite in the middle of midfield.
Up 3 choices to where the captain's band are injured right now. Both Beasler and Espinoza out, and then Elie on the bench. He was listed as questionable with a calf injury that kept him out of some of training this week. Players like Jalen Lindsay and Rodney Wallace. Here's a 1-2 down the right-hand side, intended for Buchanan. Quase does well
At that point enough as well, it is about the leaders, especially when things aren't going well on the pitch. You want those experienced leaders out there. You want the likes of Beasley and Espinosa. Nothing's quite falling for Sporting at the moment. Too many disjointed passes. None of the calls that Peter Vermees wants are going his way either, or Sporting's way. Sometimes that's how football works. There's not a great deal of space in the middle of the park.
Rowe puts it in for Russell. It's headed away by Ani Baba. Now Zusi, long-range strike. It deflects down into the path of Farrell, who clears it away. Right back to Gerso. Now through for Rowe in the penalty area. Stabbed out by Farrell for another corner. Namath took an accidental boot to the side of the head in the aftermath of that play. He seems to be okay. Gerso gets it through to Namath, and Namath misses the target.
It would have been a real blow for the youngster if he'd have been removed from the starting lineup. Let's see how he does.
Rowe with the switch over to Graham Zusi on the right-hand side. Zusi drives the cross in for Namath. This time he finds the back of the net. Christian Namath has brought Sporting Kansas City level.
Here's that diagonal ball from Kellen Rowe. Great first touch from Zusi. Gets the ball out of his feet, whips it into that near post. And Namath does so well. He finds himself in between the two centre-halves, the new centre-half Andrew Farrell and Jalil Ani Baba as well at left centre-half. One of them has to be picking him up.
Now Christian Namath, and for Gerso, his shot was blocked.
But let's give a word to Graham Zusi as well for an absolutely pinpoint accurate cross, and give Namath credit as well for finishing that chance.
And as you said, Kellen Rowe, the ball across to Zusi in the first place. But here come the Revolution again, and they have put it right back in the face of Sporting Kansas City. Caicedo now has a brace, and the Revs lead 2-1.
Way to the feet of Caicedo. Fontas just has to clear his lines there, doesn't manage it, and the ball is crossed in behind Zusi. It's a decent finish from Caicedo. All the good work of a couple of moments ago completely undone.
Caldwell coming out to mark him, and Caldwell pokes it away from Johnny Russell. Buchanan combining with Caicedo. Back to Buchanan now. Got Gutierrez up in the air, and now it's spilled toward the back post and knocked home again. It's a calamity of errors for Sporting KC defensively right now, and a Revolution side that has struggled to score goals all season find themselves with 3 in the first half.
And this is the final delivery from Buchanan. Abdul goes at it strangely with his feet, has to just head that away, misses it completely. Finds its way to the back post off a ricochet from Graham Zusi into the path of Agadello, and he almost can't miss from there. Nothing Tim Melia can do about that.
Gerso now cutting back into the penalty area. His cross in, sneaks to Johnny Russell, and his shot sails wide of the target. Of course, they can't afford any more mistakes in the back as Agadello comes skating through the middle of the field, and his shot this time rolls harmlessly into the arms of Tim Melia. Zusi and Busio do well to keep it away from DeJuan Jones. For a throw-in, but that is the halftime whistle. So more to sort out for Sporting Kansas City, and he only stays on the bench for 45 minutes as he will come in for Gianluca Busio, pushing Felipe Gutierrez up the field as the second half is underway.
He's got a little bit too much on it. Fired the ball off the hoardings behind the goal, upset with himself. It's a good early start though.
On Jones gets it back now from Gutierrez to Zusi. Off of Castillo, off of the head of Brandon By. Good work from Kellen Rowe to keep it in. Rowe's got it back now. Johnny Russell to do the honors on this set piece, waiting the whistle from Toledo. Here it comes in, flicked across by Farrell. Elie tried to put it back across. Now Gutierrez. The Revolution got in exchange for Kellen Rowe in that 3-team trade that sent Diego Rubio to the Rapids, Kellen Rowe to Kansas City. Russell leaves it for Rowe. Through for Gerso, he's taken down. might have another booking and a sending off here. We will see what Baldomero Toledo decides. Jerso looked to be through, if not for being taken down by Bai, and he's shown a red card.
And a good move again from Sporting. Great pace from Jerso Fernandez and a really clumsy challenge from Brandon Bai. I think he showed a little bit of his inexperience there. 4 formation. They're still going to be very tough to break down, New England.
Johnny Russell drives this one in. Elie to name it. And his header is wide of the target. Not once but twice for Sporting KC just to get something out of this game.
At times it's almost going to be an attack versus defence routine.
Zusi finds it. Back through for Jerso, to ground he goes, and Toledo says no. And now the Revolution players want a card for diving, but now
looks like Toledo's now given a penalty.
Has he changed his mind? He's pointed to the spot.
Changed his mind. To me, there is contact on the left arm. I think it's the left arm of Jerso Fernandez. There you can see it. Not a great deal of contact, but contact nonetheless.
Well, the decision now is a penalty, and a chance for Felipe Gutierrez for Sporting KC. And it's into the back of the net. Cropper got a touch to it, but couldn't keep it out, and Sporting Kansas City find themselves now trailing by just 1 and up a man.
Jerso just winding up his teammates straight down the middle, just clipped the right ankle of Cody Cropper by the looks of it and went into the roof of the net. Unlucky for the young goalkeeper, but look, confidence from Felipe Gutierrez.
Thankless job as usual for the fourth official, because Peter Vermees and Kerry Zavagnin on the Sporting sideline, when that penalty was about to be taken, were arguing that because the player didn't go for the ball.
There's a restart for Buchanan on the right-hand side. He puts this cross in. Russell coming over to help. Gets it to Gutierrez. Trying to outrun Caldwell. Brad Friedel is shouting at Baldomero Toledo now, who's pointed to his earpiece to check a play, which could have potentially been the appeals for handball. These things will be determined by the referee now.
I'll be very surprised if Baldomero Toledo doesn't give this as a penalty.
And it's a penalty.
I'm not surprised at all, Nate. I'm really not.
Caicedo, who has the brace in the first half of the Revolution, and this unlucky deflection for Johnny Russell that leads to the penalty. It's Heel with the left foot, and he is denied by Melia. On the rebound, Melia again, and then it's smashed home by DeJuan Jones. Melia does his work again, but it's to no avail. And the Revolution lead at 4-2.
He palms it as far away from the goal as he can, but New England Revolution pounce first, and the ball just squirts out to DeJuan Jones, and he smashes it into the back of the net. Incredibly unfortunate on all counts. It's quite a harsh penalty decision, but I see why it was given by Toledo.
I'm not going to say, I don't know if controversial is even the right word, but a couple of interesting penalty calls. Here's a ball in, it falls to Johnny Russell, and then Namath knocks it home, but the offside flag has come up. And there is still room for interpretation on those calls.
And look, Johnny Russell was only a foot away from the guy when he...
Here's Namath in the penalty area, and it falls to Gutierrez, and he bangs it home. And it's 4-3. 69 minutes in. This match has absolutely gone bananas.
Brings to this Sporting side when he plays in that number 8 position. He loves breaking into the box. Obviously a lot easier for him to do that against 10 men. Good play from Namath, holding the ball up, and a solid finish with his laces by Felipe Gutierrez.
Sporting KC, even though this is only their 8th match of the MLS season, to get points here at home. Here's Johnny Russell on the turn. Now Namath. Try to leave it for Gutierrez. Heel did well. But with all these teams atop the Western Conference racking up points early in the season, Sporting want to take care of these home matches. Here's Christian Nemeth, and then it's knocked away by Cropper just off the line before Jerso could pounce on it. Did that ball cross the line at any point? Not there. Desperate goalkeeping from Cody Cropper, and there's no replay angle we've seen yet that would show that that ball has completely crossed the line. Also have a substitution for the New England Revolution. Sporting KC substitution is Daniel Shallowy on for Jerso. And Sporting KC up a man. There's a chance for the Revolution to try to spring on the counter. Now on the right-hand side, Caicedo blasts this one into the supporters section. They called on here at halftime to try to settle things down for Sporting as they trailed 3-1 at the break. There's a ball through for Quase. He'll drive the cross in. Gutierrez misses the mark. Convincing header there from Abdul. It falls to Bunbury. Heel loses it though. Shallowy off of Caicedo out for a throw-in. Susi on the right-hand side. That cross was deflected by Jones, and Sporting will have their 7th corner on the evening. Johnny Russell sprinting over to take this one. 83rd minute. Sporting trailing 4-3. And it's in! And it's 4-4! Christian Nemeth! He has a brace!
Defend into that near post area. Nemeth rises, meets it. I think it takes a little bit of a ricochet off Jalil Anibaba as well. Just off the back of his head, but I'm sure Nemeth will get the goal. Russell whip this one just into the penalty area, top of the 6-yard box.
In by Russell. Anibaba looking for Teal Bunbury on the long switch. Quase got up for it. And then is able to shrug off Bunbury. Nemeth knocked away by Caicedo. Only as far as Quase. Gets the turn on Bunbury. Chips it in. Headed away by Castillo. Elie on the half volley. It takes a deflection and it forces Cropper into a sprawling save. Third and final substitution for the visitors. Brian Wright, the 24-year-old, will come on for DeJuan Jones. Let's take an H&R Block second look. Heel comes away with it for the Revs. Taken back by Fontas.
Really well watched from Andre Fontas there.
Misplay by Anibaba, and another misplay, and Johnny Russell was about to get through, and Anibaba takes him down. And Anibaba's already on a yellow, and this could be a 2-man advantage for Sporting KC. I'm not sure if Toledo remembers. There he reaches into the back pocket. Hasler, typically a right back, Guatubiaye a center back, but with Sporting KC up 2 men and chasing a goal, I'm wondering, Matt, if this maybe means more of a 3-man backline for SKC. Now Rowe against his former team. He is able to get the cross in. Awkwardly up into the penalty area it goes. Johnny Russell trying to bring it down, and it's just flicked away by Castillo at the very last moment. Sporting KC pressing for the stoppage time winner. Playing 11 versus 9. Here's Quase over the bar. Quase. Gutierrez. Fontas driving it down the field. Kellen Rowe. Out to Zusi. Putting the cross toward the back post. Bunbury heads away. Was looking at his watch. Will he have added any time for the Caldwell injury? We'll have to wait and see. This one out for a throw-in. Where he takes it away from Russell and sends it down the field. And there is the